Hi there, I'm Saria, and I'm here to provide a submission video for River City Ransom EX. River City Ransom EX is a 2004 Game Boy Advance remake of the NES beat-em-up with RPG elements, River City Ransom. River City Ransom EX recreates the story mode of the original title, adding tons of new characters and bosses, and revamping the fighting into a mind-bogglingly robust new system. This game allows players to embark on basically any type of journey they want. They can take Alex and Ryan on a simple, nostalgic trek through River City, or they can use the game's expansive customization options to craft a wildly souped-up new character and absolutely lay waste to unfortunate thugs. In this video, I will explore the latter option and use a custom character to demolish River City Ransom EX's hardest difficulty mode. This is River City Ransom EX All Bosses Hardest Difficulty. This game loop tasks the player with traversing River City and stopping to fight enemy gangs in rooms where required bosses appear upon the room being cleared. In this All Bosses category, we will explore every single possible unique boss encounter, showing off some special events before completing the main quest. In the medium and higher difficulty modes, River City Ransom EX demands, even more so than the NES version, that players strengthen their characters in order to stand up to the game's difficulty curve. In EX, the 15 gangs become significantly stronger as the game progresses, and the health, resilience, and strength of the bosses completely skyrocket. Due to several factors on top of that, if players do not buy upgrades for their characters, boss fights can take up to 10 minutes to complete toward the end of the game, assuming the player is able to survive the fight. However, in unrestricted speedrun categories, players can start the game with a character so powerful, the game can be annihilated in basically the same manner as the easiest difficulty mode. With expedient and careful use of flashy teleporting attacks and telekinetic powers, all of the group fights are done in an explosive flash. Bosses still absorb tons of hits as the game wears on, but in most cases, they'll be drenched helplessly in stun lock the entire time. Even if they escape long enough to deal stray hits to the player, the hero is so overpowered that this barely leaves a scratch. This means that, like the categories I present in my other marathon submission video for this game, this category is remarkably marathon safe. Even the absolute worst case scenarios can hardly dent the average completion time of a no-reset run of All Bosses Hardest Difficulty mode. This is why I feel extremely secure in a proposed completion estimate of 12 minutes. This game is also ripe with potential for donation incentives. Because River City Ransom EX allows players to rename their character, donors can bid war to select the hero's name. Also, just like in the NES version, Cindy can be optionally rescued after the defeat of the Dragon Twins, and whether or not we do so can also be decided by a donation incentive. A smorgasbord of other optional quests exist in this game, but that one is the closest to the actual story path. Also conveniently placed in the main travel route is one of River City Ransom's most famous shops. That's right, the sauna is back in River City Ransom EX in sparkling 32-bit graphics. A visit to the sauna could also be earned by donors. River City Ransom EX is a stunningly feature-heavy remake. It seems like the developers wanted players to be able to craft countlessly diverse adventures through River City, and this makes it not only wonderful to replay casually, but fascinating to replay with speed as the main focus. Thank you for considering this game for your marathon. Good luck with the event. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at my provided contact mediums. I will now include an example speedrun of All Bosses Hardest Difficulty mode. Enjoy! Hi there, everybody. My name is Saria, and I'm going to show you possibly my favorite video game of all time, River City Ransom EX for the Game Boy Advance, a remake of River City Ransom for the NES. And I'm going to show off a very goofy and entertaining speedrunning category here. Hardest difficulty mode, all unique boss encounters. The first thing I'll do is just an aesthetic thing. I'm going to change the brightness of the background to be a bit darker so the characters pop out a bit more. Speaking of the characters, we've got a bunch of pre-existing files here that you can change your characters into before you start the game, including this existing character from the game, one of the main antagonists of the Kunio franchise, Titus, or Todo. He's got some wild stats that are going to help us out immensely here.
Those are his real stats. And they will help us out a lot, because he's not going to be an AI helper. He's going to be a unique boss that we're going to be fighting. So that's going to go pretty quick, and we'll put him in the Alex slot, and in the Ryan slot, so that we can save some time in dialogue, we will be using our actually pre-strengthened character who will be fighting everybody. It's really cool this game can allow you to customize characters at all, but the system for customizing characters is so unbelievably deep. And I'm going to show off just how useful that is in this speedrun. We'll change the text to the very fastest speed because that saves a ton of time. Hardest difficulty mode for the purposes of this showcase. And we'll go solo because going solo allows you to fight your other protagonist, or in this case, the antagonist, in the middle of the game as a boss encounter. It's very cool. And we'll change that setting just to make sure I don't get any extra cutscene stuff. And are you all ready for some absolute mayhem? Let's do this in 3, 2, 1. Bar. First thing I'll do is go into the in-game pause menu options and change speed to +2, gravity +2. Speed +2 makes everybody in the game, including us, move faster. Gravity +2 makes everybody fall faster, so their coins spawn faster, so we can collect them and trigger events faster. That's a nice left-right sequence we've got going here, so that we can collect coins left and right. Boom, 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 boom. I accidentally turned around, but we're fine, because they were together, and now they're together in the afterlife. And Moose is gonna join them. There he goes. We didn't even give him the decency of looking at him as we eviscerated him. The game's pretty much gonna be going just like that. And we're gonna have our first divergence from the normal route here. Instead of running straight forward, we're going to face our next unique boss encounter, Benny and Clyde, in here. Boom! And let's do some more of our telekinetic weapon throwing powers, just like we all had as high schoolers. There they go. Isn't this a delight? I very, very much enjoy this. Let's go into the warehouse. We're going to try and set up a careful sequence here with timing. We got it. Very nice. But they don't have very good weapons for doing this boss. Yeah, so this is going to go a little bit slower, but it's okay. Oh, he recovered with 0 HP and willpower. Okay, so that's something that can happen very often through this run, especially as enemies get stronger. First, I'll describe that more later. First, let's death warp to backtrack to fight our next boss, Blade, who Rocco says will show us a real challenge. I'll be the judge of that. Let's see here. In fact, we're just going to humiliate him by using his own weapon against him and dealing 1 damage, because that's fun. Goodbye. How the heck did I lose to you, punks? Were you conscious for that battle? Okay, in fairness, maybe he wasn't, because I was hitting him in the top of the head as hard as possible with a Mach speed chain. So I guess I'll give him that one. Hi, rejects, or not rejects. Freudian slip there. They mentioned the rejects. That was the entrees, not the rejects. Anyway, thank you for opening the door for me, sir. That was very kind of you. That saved a few frames. And we are already almost to our next place where we have to stop and fight, which is many rooms away, but we are so incredibly fast that it doesn't matter. We got the worst possible spawning pattern there, but it's okay. Let's just use our telekinetic high school powers again. They're all done for. We don't even need to do our left-right sequence because they're gone. This is just how high school is. Doesn't this bring back memories? Nice little 1 damage ending there, and now we're gonna do that room a bunch more times, because that is how you can spawn the next unique boss in this game, is by defeating Turk a bunch of times. Once we do that, his friend Jesse will show up, and so this is a perfect time for some donations and announcements. Hello, pretty face guy. He got very intimate with me there.
So, as you can see, these pre-strengthened character categories in River City Ransom EX are the height of absurdity and playful silliness that I believe can just add some wonderful whimsy to any marathon at any time in the marathon. And as mentioned earlier, even on the hardest possible difficulty mode against the hardest possible bosses, even toward the end game, it is absolutely impossible to take any meaningful damage or time losses that can really affect the marathon negatively. And this segment of room refights really is perfect for a host break. Let's send it back for now.
Thank you so much. So some hijinks occurred there. Whenever you fight the homeboys in here, or at all in this run, they don't have any weapons that they bring in, so that makes us not able to use our slick trick technique to use our telekinetic powers and just absolutely annihilate everybody, which slows down the boss fights and everything. So we want to see weapon gangs throughout the entire run, especially once we are getting ready to do the double fight here. So if I see the homeboys in this next room, I'm just gonna re-enter, because I really need the weapons. Okay, generic dudes are fine. I'm doing great, Phil. I hope you're doing great as well. And also, Turk, again, got up with 0 HP and willpower, which was bad. He took himself out by running into the wall, but whenever enemies get up with 0 HP and willpower, they are no longer targetable. And I need enemies to be targetable with a lot of my special moves in this game, including the slick trick. So when they are valid targets, it just allows the weapons to fly straight at them like that entire time. And that was the unique boss fight, by the way. Very nice. We dealt with that, even though Turk got a nice hit on us, which we will allow him because we have been annihilating him this entire time. But yes, it is very bad whenever enemies get up in midair with 0 HP and willpower because it takes their target away, so that I can't actually hit them with my teleporting moves and my telekinetic weapon throw. So there we go. He did not get up with 0 HP and willpower, so he just went to his doom. We will take that. And now we're going to head to the factory, which has a big pit, so hopefully I don't fall into the big pit. First thing I'll do is wait for a moment so I can teleport to this next guy and immediately get onto the next level. I'll wait for a moment here so that more enemies spawn. What an athlete! That's why they're called the Jocks! That was a cool move there. And nice, we got a weapon gang here, so that will be useful against Thor if I end up having to fight him. But I'm going to try and do something funny instead. So here we go. Hello, Thor, and just, you know what? Come on. Come on. You know you want to. You know you want to, buddy. Oh, he didn't. Okay, so he can just fly straight into the pit, trying to get to us. It's very, very hilarious when it happens. Instead, he was smart. Sometimes he is smart. So like all things, that was very RNG. All Kunio games are like that. And so the Thor fight took a long time, but you know what won't? See you, Titus. That's why we want to fight him. Don't be such a jerk. Okay, fair point. Hi, Shell, bye, Shell. We're not gonna... Hi, Benny and Clyde, bye, Benny and Clyde. We're not gonna fight them because that's not a unique boss. Hello, gamers! So the gamers actually have a lot of health. They're one of the strong gangs in this game. So we're definitely going to be using Slick Trick here instead of our teleporting powers. The teleporting is going to be inefficient against them. Throughout the rest of the game, that's probably going to be mostly true. And you know what else is inefficient? The trash cans landing on their heads the entire time instead of dealing damage. It's funny though. Also, hi Rex, bye Rex. I'm gonna take the crate here, not the trash can, because we've seen that it doesn't deal as much damage. Because if we get the homeboys here, they're not gonna bring weapons in. And so now we at least have a couple of weapons to be able to use our Slick Trick with. The homeboys are weak enough that we can teleport and hit them and deal damage and take them out in one hit. But I'm doing this instead because it's fun. And now, this is what we really need the weapons for. Unfortunately, they can get stuck on the wall there, but it's okay. We're actually gonna watch the fruit of our labors here. Actually, no, we're not, because he's gone now. Ivan is the least consistent boss in basically every category of this game. He is very good at getting away, and he's very good at hitting you and knocking you down. But there he goes. And now we're gonna make sure we actually fight here instead of doing the gym jump right away. More homeboys. That's really bad. Okay? I'm actually going to reset the room because, again, we need weapons here. It's going to be very, very vital against Otis. And so we took a small time loss by figuring out that we were not having any weapons and resetting the room. But it's all right. Even the massive time losses in this run are super safe and not a big deal. This run is so forgiving. And this game in general is so forgiving. And let's take a look at this guy and see how much fun he's having. I know we're having a great time. I'm going to open this up for some more donations and announcements while he has a great time.
Earlier on in the fight against Thor, it might be funnier for me to just keep running back and forth across the room until Thor decides that he's willing to hurl himself into the bottomless pit to end the fight. It could take a little while, but I feel like it would be an amazing addition of comedic value, and we could get the crowd involved a little bit. Planned or not, there are so many little things to enjoy in this run.
Perfect. Okay, this can be a special encounter here. There's a chance for it to just be Tex or for it to be Tex and Ivan. Now, I'm not going to throw the items at them now because the wall is going to get in the way if I do. Now, hopefully I'm hitting them both at the same time here because that is incredibly good luck whenever it happens. Oh! Yeah, you see, that's what Ivan can do. He's very good at breaking up the sequence and just smacking you in the face with his head. Smacking you in the head with his head. He's a headbutter. There he goes. Okay, not too bad. It's fine when they get some hits in. They deserve it. They're hard workers. They're spending the entire run just getting absolutely clowned on by telekinetic powers and teleporting. So if they get a couple hits on me in the meantime, I won't be too upset. They're excellent young men. They end up becoming honor students according to the ending of the game. So good for them. And here are the infamous Dragon Twins. These guys are also incredibly luck-based. I'm just gonna try and go them together once again, because whenever I can hit them at the same time as much as possible, that saves so much time. From here on, we don't have any more unique boss encounters. We just go straight to the end of the game, and we are golden. And we actually had a really, really, really good fight there. That was super fast. Don't forget to rescue the girl. What girl? All right, we got some buckets. That's not good. So that's another item that can, instead of hitting Slick, land on his head. We don't see how well this is going right now because we don't see anything. But I can tell it's going very slowly because he's not dead yet. So I'm pretty sure the buckets are mostly landing on his head instead of dealing damage. The time is coming up now. We got there in the end. It's a shame we didn't get very good luck with what weapons spawned in Slick's room, so that fight went like 5 seconds slower than normal, but that was not a bad run overall. We took a couple of hits, and we had to reset the gym, but those sorts of things happen in a very, very, very luck-based, very, very, very Kunio game. But, as you saw and as I said, it's really, really tough for anything to actually, like, significantly go wrong in that run. It is just a jolly old time. It is just, again, runs like that in River City Ransom EX using the fully strengthened characters with all the special items and special techniques, and plus the additional changes of the options in the pause menu in the game. It's just like a quintessential speedrun. It just looks fast. And I really hope you enjoyed that. I hope that you find it could have a fit in your marathon, or if you're just watching this casually, whoever you are, I hope that you enjoyed that or found it entertaining or informative. I had an amazing time. I always do when I play this lovely game. It's just so much fun. It offers so much. It is just amazing. And I really, really hope that I can bring this game to more people. If not getting more runners for this game in all sorts of different categories, just in basic awareness so that more people know about this gem. And it is definitely a learning curve to get used to the new physics system. It's completely revamped from the original River City Ransom for the NES, but I believe it is a really solid game. And I think it deserves to have more attention and more players. Thank you for humoring me. Thank you so much for watching. I wish all of you the very best. And until next time, dream on, folks. Peace.